Okay, so good morning all. In today's session, we will see two-dimensional array. We know what is meant by array. Based on the one-dimensional array, we have to solve some problem statement in last lecture. In today's lecture, we will solve two-dimensional arrays problem statement with their explanation. So let's start. Screen is visible to everyone? Yes?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's start. So first open the dev C++ IDE, then create our new source code file. Yes. Now, what is meant by array first? What is array? Array is a derived data type. Yes, it is a derived data type. And homogeneous data elements together in a single entity called as array. Okay, so what is array? Array is a derived data type which stores homogeneous data elements together in a single entity called as a array. What are different types of arrays? Arrays are of two types. One is the one-dimensional array, and second one is multi-dimensional array. Okay, we have discussed these types in the previous lecture. So one-dimensional array and multi-dimensional array. One-dimensional means only one dimensions are there for that array, and multi-dimensionals means more than one, that is 2, 3, 4 dimensions are there. So we will see in multi-dimensional array only two-dimensional array. The scope is limited with two-dimensional array only, not three-dimensional or four-dimensional. Great. So in this lecture, we will see two-dimensional array. Okay. So first thing is how to two-dimensional array. Okay. So syntax is similar data type. First write data type. Before that storage class, then data type, then name of the variable, next is a subscript operator, and there are two subscript operators are there, and write size of first dimension and write size of second dimension, give the semicolon. So this is the syntax for declaring two-dimensional arrays. Okay, great. Guys, this size here, these are the two dimension. It is represented by two subscript or square brackets. Okay, so first size gives number of rows and second dimension gives you number of columns always. Okay, so how it is represented? If suppose I have declared the integer array, suppose array 1 of size 3 by 2 or 3 by 3. So this is the matrix of 3 rows and 3 columns. Okay, in two-dimensional array always represent matrix. Okay, so graphical representation I will show you, and memory management. If suppose there are total 6 columns and 2 rows, means how to declare it? 2 rows. So 2 rows and how many columns? 6 columns. So this is the array declaration for this graphical. Okay, so 6 columns and 2 rows. So here first element in that is called as A. Suppose name of the array is A. What is the name of the array? Array name is A. So A is the name of the array, and 0, 0. Okay, it gives the first row because array index always starts from 0. So this is first row, first column. So this is the value first row and first column. So this is represent the value first row and first column. Great. Similarly, second, first row, second column is represented by which array index? A of 0. 0 means first row. 1 means first value at the location first row of your multidimensional array, first row and second column. Okay. So first row and second column. So that value is represented here. This is the value A of 0, 1. It gives you first row. 0 means first row, second column value. This is the memory representation. In array, memory get represented in contiguous memory location. Okay. Consecutive. Memory locations are consecutive. This is first, second, third element, fourth, fifth, sixth. Then second rows, first element, second rows, second element, like this. And this memory is arranged in the contiguous memory location. If one block requires 2 bytes or 4 bytes, then every block is after the 4 byte. That is difference between the memory locations are 4 bytes. Okay, in ANSI C language, which we have used, because integer requires 4 bytes. So each element is occupies 4 bytes, and then again next element is contiguous memory locations, means it is the same contiguous memory location. Okay, great. So this is called as memory two-dimensional array declaration. This is the example, this is the syntax, and this is called as the graphical representation of two-dimensional array having 2 rows and 6 columns. But guys, always remember, array index always starts from 0. So 0 represent first row, and this second 0 represents second column, first column. First row, first column is represented by A of 0, 0. Great. Now, hope you understand. So let's open our problem statements list based on two-dimensional array. So this is the problem statement list. Okay, on the two-dimensional array. Yeah. Okay. So it is not modified list. I will open the modified list from that. Yeah, this is the modified list. So what we have to study, what is the two-dimensional array, how we can declare, initialize it. Okay, types of an array, two-dimensional array, how it is represent type. Type means here data type, name of the array, then row size, column size for two-dimensional array. This is the example of two-dimensional array. Now, how to initialize array two-dimensional at compile time and runtime, we will see with some examples. So here we have shorted, make the list containing only 7 problem statement. So first, what is the problem statement? Just I have copy this problem statement, create new source code file. Okay, paste it. So this is our problem statement. So what is the problem statement? So I will explain it. So implement a C program to read 9 elements of an two-dimensional array having size 3 by 3. 3 by 3 means 3 rows, 3 columns. So total number of elements are 3 into 3, that is 9 elements are there. Okay, at compile time and display those on the output screen in the matrix format. So we have to represent it in the matrix format. Great. So let's start. Hash include stdio.h, then our main function, integer main. Now, what we have to do? First, we have to declare the two-dimensional array, give the name to the array as a. What is the dimensions? This is the first dimension. What is the second dimension? 3 by 3. This is called as array declaration. If you write like this only, then it is called as the array declaration. And what is the type of array? This is a two-dimensional array. So 2D array declaration. When you assign the values to that array element, then it is called as array initialization. So guys, we have to read the values from the user at the compile time itself. Means we have to initialize array here itself. So how to initialize the array? Using curly brackets. So write curly brackets and write the total 9 elements. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Great. So these are the array elements. Guys, automatically compiler knows that what is the dimensions, 3 rows and 3 columns. So this is 1 2 3, these are the first row element values, then 4 5 6 are the second row element values, and third row values are 7 8 and 9. Great guys, hope you understand. So this is one way to declare the two-dimensional array and then initialize it. This is called as 2D array initialization, because we have to take the values from the user at the compile time itself and assign. Great. So guys, this first value 1 is at the index a of 0 0, the second a of 0 1, third a of 0 2. Next 4 is at the index A of 1 0, second row. These are the values of second row. Okay, you have to specify curly brackets also. It is also possible to write like this. This is the first row value. Then these are the second row value. And next you have to write it in the third row value. Okay, in this way also you have to initialize the two-dimensional array at the compile time. Great. Now, what is the second thing? Yes, we have to read the values, 9 element values for the two-dimensional array at the compile time. Yes, display those on the output screen, that is console, in the matrix format. Great. So for displaying two-dimensional arrays values, we require 2 loops. Always remember, if dimensions are 2, 2 loops are required. If one-dimensional array, 1 loop is required. So for our convenience, we use for loop I is equal to 0. Yes. I less than equal to, what is the dimension? 2. And I plus plus 8. So why 2? Is equal to, because array index always starts from 0 and first row having only 3 rows. So 0 to 2 means total 3 rows. So outer for loop gives you number of rows. Okay, outer for loop gives you number of rows. Inner for loop, j is equal to 0, j less than equal to 2 and j plus plus. Okay. So inner for loop gives you number of columns in your matrix. So outer for loop always gives you number of rows of your matrix, and inner for loop gives you number of columns in your matrix or two-dimensional array. Two-dimensional array always represents graphically as a matrix. So guys, understood till this? Yes, any doubts till this in two-dimensional array?
No, sir.
Great. Now it's time to display the values on the console. So how we can write the statement printf inside the inner for loop, and what we have to print the matrix format. We have to print the data in the matrix format. So use %d, use /t for tab. Okay, 4 spaces are there, and then a of I j. Okay, So first gives you number of rows logic, that is outer for loop. J is a variable used for the inner for loop, which gives the number of columns logic. Great. So we have to display this value. A of 0, initially J is also 0. A of 0, 0 means it displays 1. Okay. So when this inner for loop terminated, when we print all the columns in the first row, then this inner for loop get terminated and again outer for loop get executed. Okay, so it displays second row's values. Means after this for loop, what we have to do, if one row is completed, then we have to printf dash n. Okay, so next line. That means after printing all the columns in the first row, we have to go to the next line because we want to print it in the format of matrix. Okay, so great. Now what is remaining? I and j. We have to declare that variables I comma j prior use. Here we have to use I and j. So we have to declare the variables. Great. So let's save this program using array 2, array 2 dimensions. Okay, 2D. Choose the save type as a source C source file. Click on the save button. So now it's time to compile it first. So there is no errors, no warnings. Now to run the program and check whether it gives the matrix format. Yes, 1, 2, 3. These are the elements of the first row. 4, 5, 6. The elements of the second row. 7, 8, 9. These are the elements of the third row. So in this way, we have to display the two-dimension array in the matrix format and values that we have to taken at the compile time itself, not at the run time. Great. Hope you understand. It here it returns in return value 10 because we does not give any return statement at the end of the main function. Suppose return 0. If I have write return 0, save it, compile and run, then it gives you value, return value is 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, 8, 9. This is called as matrix format representation. Great. Guys, if you have give the comment to this printf/n, then what happens? Just check. Compile and run. So all the elements are displayed in single line only. We have to make it represent in the matrix format. That's why we have to use printf/n. What is the logic? I have to debug that program. Okay, just I will debug everything. So first, before that, first compile properly. Yes. Then give the toggle breakpoint. After toggle breakpoint, use the debug technique. Okay, so debugging is started. Then add watch for the A, then I, then J. So I will show you the execution flow. Initial value of I is equal to 0, J is equal to 1. That is garbage values, I think. Okay. Hope you understand. I and J's initial values are not initialized. It is a declaration only. So it gives the take the garbage values. A also having some values 1, 0. These are also garbage. When you click on the next line, this line get executed and the elements are assigned. So when you click on this line, what happens? Guys, see, A is equal to A is means array, two-dimensional array contains the values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, if you want A of 0, 0 value. So what is the value at the index 0, 0 means first row, first column. So what is the value? 1. Okay, press OK. So it gives you 1. Suppose you want to A of 1, 2 means it is the last value. What is the last value? That is first row. Oh, yes. First row, third value, that is 6. Okay. So it gives you 6 value. Like this, if you add watch for A of 2, 2 means 2 means third row. This is third row, 7, 8, 9. In that, which value? Second Second dimension means 0, 1, 2 means 9. It gives you 9. Great. So in this way, we have to find out which are the individual values based on their indices. Okay, so 0, 0, these are called as indices. Here, I and J, we have to use I and J, which indicates the index of particular row and column. So I is for column row and J is variable used for number of columns. Great. Now let's check next line. So what is the value of I is equal to 0? J initially 1 because this statement is not executed. When you click on the next line, J is executed. So J becomes 0, I is 0, J is 0. Print value percentage D of which variable? A of ij. So initial value of I is equal to 0, J is equal to 0. So when you execute it, so what value? 1. Value 1 get displayed on the console. So let's check whether it displayed. Yes. And slash T means 4 spaces and cursor goes to the next position after 4 places. Okay, so again when you click on the next line, what is incremented? J is incremented, that is column value. Here graphically column value get incremented. I remains 0 itself and J is incremented from 0 to 1. So that is first row second column. First row second column, so 0 1 means first row second column value, that is 2. So 2 is displayed on the console. Let's check. Okay, great. 1 and 2. Great. So let's move to the next point. Next line. Okay, so what happens? J becomes 2, I remains 0. So when this displays A of ij means 0 2, and when it displays 0 2 means third value in that two-dimensional array. Then printf loop is terminated because all the three values we have to display on the first row, and then loop get terminated. What we want to do? We want to go to the next line. Here cursor is here, but we want to go for the next line. For that purpose, after inner for loop, we have to use printf slash n. Click on the next line. That means cursor goes to the next line. Guys, observe it. Okay. Next. Okay. Again, now I becomes 1. So second row. J initialized to now. Now J initialized to 0. So second row, first column. So what is the second row, first column? 4 is there. So 4 is displayed. Then 5 is displayed. Let's check on the console itself. 4, 5. Yes. Next. J becomes 2. Okay. And when J becomes 3, this loop get terminated and cursor goes. So all the three values get displayed. Yes. Again, next line. Then printf slash n. Okay. Then cursor goes to, but currently I is the 2. Now I plus plus means it becomes 3. So 3 less than equal to 2 condition false. So it cursor goes out of this outer for loop and goes to the next line, that is a return 0. Let's check. Yes. And whole output get displayed on the console. That is the matrix format representation of 2D array. Yes. Click on the next line. Okay, so execution is stop execution, remove the toggle breakpoint. Great. Guys, hope you understand. Any doubts in this problem statement? Yes?
No, sir.
Okay. So hope you understand this first problem statements. Now we will solve second problem statement based on the two-dimensional array. So let's open our modified program list. So implement C program to read the 9 elements of the 2D array, which is 3 by 3 at runtime and display those output on the screen. Okay, so first I will make changes in this itself. Only copy all the code, and for your reference, I have put it in the chat window for your reference. Okay. Now, copy the second problem statement, and I have to make changes in the same. Okay, so program is same. Implement a C program to read 9 elements of two-dimensional array 3 by 3. Yes, at the runtime, and display those on the output screen in the format of matrix. So guys, we have to not initialize the two-dimensional array. We have to just declare it. This is called as two-dimensional array declaration. Yes, we have not initialized any value to this two-dimensional array. We have to initialize the array at the runtime. Okay, so when you use at the runtime means we have to take the values from the user at the runtime for which array? Two-dimensional array. If it is two-dimensional array, how many loops are required? Two loops are required. Okay, so two loops are required. For outer for loop gives you number of rows, and inner for loop gives you number of columns logic. Great. So we have to scan the values from the user. Before that, I have give them one message, that is printf enter 9 values for two-dimensional array, then slash n. Great. Next, use two for loops. So same thing, same structure. Okay, so just I have to copy this code and put it before the and replace this printf statement. Just change. Okay, printf, instead of printf use scanf, then use %d. Don't use anything tab like this. And where we want to save it? At the address of a of ij. That means with whatever values we have entered at the runtime. Guys, note down this scanf function. How many times this scanf function is executed? First call row 3 times, second row 3 times, and third row 3 times, means total 9 times. 9 times execution of scanf function. Yes, this scanf function executed totally 9 times. Great. So we have to scan it. Okay, so no need to write printf because we have to only scan the elements 9 times. Okay, but at the time of displaying, we have to print f statement we have to use after the inner for loop. Great. So just save it, compile it, and check whether there is any error. No error. So run it. Enter the 9 values for the two-dimensional array. So I have to enter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So when I have to press enter after the 9, because scanf statement is executed 9 times totally, first 3 elements are first row, 4 to 6 elements are for the third row, 7, 8, 9 for last row. So when I have to press enter, great, this is the output of your two-dimensional array in the matrix format, where I have to take the values from the user at the runtime itself. Great. So I'll close that. If you want to write the message before printing the matrix, write it printf matrix representation, matrix representation of two-dimensional array slash n. Okay, so matrix representation of two-dimensional array, compile and run. So if you have to use any, enter any values, suppose 11, 12, 33, 44, 55, 88, 99, 66, 1. Okay, 4. Yes. So you can write any values and you can display it as per the matrix representation 11, 22, 33, 44, 5588 like this. Okay, so this is matrix representation of two-dimensional array. Guys, hope you are enjoying. Yes, no need to debug again because for the previous problem statement I have to use debugging techniques and show you how output looks like on the console as well as what are the values in the inside the array. Okay, anything, any doubts till this? Yes, yes, any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay, so let's take, these are the common problem statement everywhere we required. Okay, so now let's choose one of the problem statement from the remaining one. So implement a C program to find. Okay, so before that, okay, there are number of problem statement. So implement a C program to display even and odd numbers from the given 2D array. Okay, so we will solve that. Yes, this is the fourth problem statement. Yes. So I have to create new source code file. Yes. Then problem statement. Okay. So implement a C program to display even and odd numbers from the given two-dimensional array. Here it is assumed that we have to scan the array, two-dimensional array, either compile time or run time. So hash include stdio.h. Yes. Great. So int main function. Now what we have to do? First, we have to declare two-dimensional array like this, a subscript. You can use any array, two-dimensional arrays. So 2 by 3, yes, means 2 rows and 3 columns, means total 6 elements are there. So either you have to initialize it at the compile time. Yes, it is possible. Suppose I have to use 11, comma 22, comma 23, comma 56, comma 77, comma 78, okay, comma, okay, 6 elements are there. So these are the 6 element list. So what we have to find to display even and odd numbers from the given two-dimensional array. So we have to display which elements are even and which elements are odd. So we know 11 is odd, 22 is even, 23 is odd. Okay, the number which is divisible by 2 is a even number, and the number which is not divisible by 2, then it is called as odd number. 56 is a even, 77 is odd, 78 is a even. So we have to display it. Okay, so for that, for displaying anything which we have do the manipulation on the array, whatever may be the manipulation we have to done on the array, two-dimensional array, always we required two loops. One for loop, okay, then second for loop. So these are the two loops. First for loops gives you number of what? Rows. Great. And inner for loop gives you number of columns. Yes. So take two variables. So declare that integer I comma j. Always remember I comma j. You can take any variable name, but I have to take I. So I is equal to 0. Yes. I less than equal to. Now, how many rows are there? Only 2 rows are there. And each row contains 3 columns. So 0 to 1 guy is equal to is there. And I plus plus. Great. Next, decide j is equal to 0. J less than equal to 2. Because how many columns are there? 3. So index starts from 0 to 2. Column index. So j plus plus. Great. Now what we have to do? We have to find out which is the even numbers and which are the odd numbers. So how to find? Okay, and display that. So first, what we have to do? First, if Okay, if a of ij, which gives you the element value a of ij, it gives the value 0 0 means 11. So if this value mod of 2, okay, so make the modulus operator, that is it gives is equal to 0. If that number is divisible by 2 and its remainder is 0, then that number is a even number. So how to print it? Printf %d is a even number. Okay, comma. Where is that number? A of ij. So a of ij gives us what? A of ij gives us actual value of that element at that particular location. Suppose I and j is 0 0 means it is a 11 value. Okay, but 11 is a odd, and else right here else. Otherwise, if it is not true, then what we have to print? Printf same thing. Printf %d is a odd number. Okay, and give /n here because we have to display these statements on the next line itself. Okay, great. Hope you understand. Write odd, even, 2D array program, source C, source code file, save it. Okay, let's try. Compile first. Okay, there is no error, no warning. Now run it. Okay, so 11. What is the 11? Is odd number? Yes. 22 is even number. 23 is odd number. 56 is a even number. 77 is a odd number. Yes. 78 is a even number. Great. So here we have to initialize the array, two-dimensional array at compile time. Okay. If you want to convert it into the runtime, if you want to convert it into the runtime, what we have to do? Just do one thing. What is the thing? First, declare the two-dimensional array duration. Okay. Then, for scanning the values from the user, guys, always we have to same statement for scanning. So, copy the same code. Yes, we have our code with us for I0, but here what 2 by 3 array is there. 2 by 3 means 2 rows and 3 columns. So 0 to 1 and 0 to 2. Yes, this is for column. J is used, I index is used for number of rows. Yes, great. So now scan the values and stored into the array A. So let's check. This is called as runtime array initialization or dynamic array initialization. And then we have to find out which elements are even and which elements are odd. Great. So, oh no, there is no message. So first I have to give one message here before that. So I have to know that printf, what message is there? Enter 6 elements in two-dimensional array. Okay. And save it, compile it, and run it. 6 elements in the two-dimensional array. Suppose first is element 3, then 4, 77, 88, 9, then 21. Okay. So 3 is an odd element number, 4 is a even number, 77 is a odd number, yes, 88 is even, 9 is odd, and 21 is odd. Great. So in this way, we have to solve the problem statements based on the two-dimensional array. Guys, hope you enjoying. Yes. Yes, are you enjoying? or not? Programming is very interested. Yes,
Yes,
Bharat.
sir.
Yash.
Yes, sir.
Great. So now it's time for activity. I have to give one problem statement based on the two-dimensional array from the list itself. You have to solve it within the 10 minutes and you have to upload it on the Moodle. Okay. So next, what is the problem statement? So next problem statement is implement a C program. Okay, so I will give simple one. Implement a C program to find sum of all the elements in the two-dimensional array. Okay, so sum of all the elements which are exist in the two-dimensional array, you have to initialize the two-dimensional array either at the compile time or run time. Okay, so this is the problem statement. Okay, so this is the problem statement. So do the problem statement, work on it. So this is your PPS discussion forum. Okay, so I have to create new topic. Yes, so post it. So implement a C program to find the sum of all the elements in the two-dimensional array. So you have to first declare two-dimensional array at compile time, then run time, and find out the all the elements sum. So your time starts now. So do it. Timer for 10 minutes. Yes, 10 minutes are sufficient. Okay, so starts your activity. Everyone should.